Hey everyone, Gaijin Goomba here. So like every gamer in the world, I've been completely sucked into Mario Odyssey for the last week now. After all, we haven't had an open world Mario game for, what, 7 years now? Odyssey's been a long time coming. And while some of you might feel the need to accuse me of covering this game due to its sheer hype and clickability right now, well, you'd be absolutely right. But something you gotta understand is that this was the franchise that got me started doing culture and gaming in the first place. One middle-aged overweight Italian not plumber and a Tanuki Kigurumi is what started me down the 5-year-old path of trying to rip every cultural reference I can find in games old and new. And if my last video on this game wasn't a dead giveaway, there is a lot for me to explore in Mario Odyssey. Tons of new locations, new enemies. But today I actually want to talk about Mario's new ally Cappy and why everyone should be very, very afraid of him. Why? Because he's a freaking soul-sucking yokai! Okay, look, I know a lot of people give me crap because I always seem to equate Mario to Japan. However, never mind the fact that Nintendo is a Japanese domestic company, I've been shown time and time again that like 75% of everything in the Mushroom Kingdom is based off of something from Japan's folklore and culture. Lakitu, based on the Thunder God Raijin. Goombas, based on shiitake mushrooms. Koopas are Kappas, Bowser's a Dragon Turtle, Cat Mario is a Maneki Neko, Womps are Nurikabe, Peach is a Multi-Mitama Kami, the Tanuki suit is literally a Tanuki, and hey, why not occasionally mix all of those things together? And if you don't believe me on this, I happily encourage you to check out some of my other work, because I've done videos on all of these prior topics. But today, we're talking about Cappy. I mean, sure, he looks cute and harmless enough, but as the internet has shown us, what he's capable of is pretty dang scary. So, similar to my curiosity with Bendy and Ink Monsters, I started pouring through my research to see if there was some kind of hat monster this boy could be based off of. And after weeks of research and pondering, I've discovered that Cappy is completely modeled after a little-known Tsukumogami yokai called Osako Buri. Now, I know I just dropped a whole bunch of moonspeak on you guys, so let me explain a little bit. First of all, I'm sure you're asking, what the heck is a Tsukumogami, other than a word with way too many vowels? Well, in a nutshell, Tsukumogami are Japanese thing monsters that come to life because they literally have been around for so long they get possessed by spirits. And there are dozens and dozens and dozens of these things. Usually it takes a full 100 years for an item to become a Tsukumogami, but I've read about a few exceptions like Mokumokuren, who are inspirited shoji walls that come to life when too many holes get punched in them. But a good 90% of them come to life simply by being old. This in turn meant that in order to keep one's personal belongings from becoming a pestering spirit at best and a vindictive murderer at worst, personal items had to be ritualistically prayed for and burned at the local shrine so they didn't become possessed and soak terror within their home. Still scratching your head on this? Alright, remember those one-eyed umbrellas you fight in Mario Land 6 Golden Coins and Kirby's Dream Land 2? That's actually known as a Kasa Obake. Basically what happens when your umbrella turns a century old, comes to life, and becomes a monster. Simple, right? You've seen these before. But Osako Buri? Yeah, let me just say that the use of these in popular culture is pretty dang non-existent. So rare, in fact, that I had to commission additional artwork to help explain what this boy is. Which I got from my good buddy the Gecko Ninja. Go check him out if you haven't, he does all my artwork. But yeah, even though this yokai monster is chronicled in the granddaddy of Japan's monster folklore books, the Illustrated Night Parade of 100 Demons, or Gazu Hyaki Yagyo, I've only been able to get a handful of information about it. But believe you me, from what I could find, Cappy's connections to the Osako Buri are terrifyingly close. So what is an Osako Buri? Well, long story short, it's a hat, but not just any hat. In ancient depictions, it's usually a very regal long crown called an oshiko that emperors, magistrates, and other high-ranking government workers would wear. Except unknown to these officials, their symbol of authority was actually a ghostly spirit possessing their crown. Moving on over to Cappy in Mario Odyssey, it's absolutely no question that he's a ghost. I mean, look at him. He's pure white, translucent, he's got those little ghost wispy flippers going on. Seriously, when I first saw him, I literally thought he was just a boo wearing a hat. And it's not just Cappy, I mean, he lives in a freaking community of hat ghosts. Again, they got those little tendril thingies under their hat bodies. And if that's not enough to convince you, just look at their home, the Hat Kingdom. It's so full of monotone grays, blacks, and whites, it could be a subdivision of Halloween Town. They're truly a society of spook spirits, no question there. But if you think this is just a case of mistaken identity, check this out. Cappy has a very specific set of powers that he's able to share with Mario. Nintendo themselves have confirmed this. And it's those specific powers that make him so similar to the Osako Buri. We've seen that Cappy as a spirit has the ability to possess multiple hats, has the ability to shove Mario's entity into capturing anything Mario tosses his hat onto. But on reflection, this also likely means that Cappy's powers gives him access to the soul of the thing being captured. How else could he shove Mario's soul into his targets otherwise? And this is the exact same behavior and abilities that the Osako Buri has. For one, the Osakuburi has the ability to possess clothing of any kind to use as a body. They use their long spectral tendrils that come from the bottom of their hat head to wrap up in kimonos, coats, anything they can get their spooky tentacles on, and possesses it as an extension of themselves. And when those items are no longer of use, the Osakuburi will drop them and find a more suitable disguise to possess. On the flip side, Cappy and by extension Mario are also capable of possessing not only living creatures like people, animals, Goombas, bullet bills, chain chomps, bugs, and dinosaurs, but inanimate objects as well, like fireballs, posts, binoculars, electrical wires, statues, cars, and rockets? Well, in any case, they all become an extension of Mario and Cappy, only for the duo to drop their folks' bodies at a moment's notice to possess something else to further their goals within the level. And you know, speaking of living targets, much like Cappy, the Osakuburi also has manipulative power when it comes to biological creatures that put it on. Though these monsters have to be very careful, as once the cover's blown, they have to find a new target. Now, in general, Osakuburi will absorb the living essence and memories from the living being that put it on, slowly draining both positive and negative energies. Basically, imagine what would happen if someone tried to use a Metroid for a hat, only a tad more subtle. While Osakuburi do not directly take control of their victims for fear that they'll get found out, they will use subtle control to make sure that the wearer doesn't part with them to feed on them another day, making their target feel like that they need to keep the Osakuburi hat around for security. So while it doesn't take over its target as aggressively as Cappy does in Odyssey, the Osakuburi does extend control over its victim, just very subtly. Wait, when you first meet Cappy, he seems to really go above and beyond to get Mario to like him. Then once Mario has Cappy possess his hat, well, Cappy's work is done. He has the unstoppable Mario at his side to get his sister back. I mean, I know Bowser kidnapped Peach and that's typically where Mario steps in anyway, but in a very real way, Cappy's able to manipulate Mario into taking him with and basically do what he needs. Not so unlike the Osakuburi. So when you consider the fact that both of these two are spirits, possess hats, and have the ability to manipulate their victims directly, how could you not come to the conclusion that Nintendo is borrowing ideas from yokai folklore? Certainly wouldn't be the first time. That in turn makes me wonder, why does Bowser even need Tiara? I mean, what exactly did it matter? I get that he wants his wedding to be the most extravagant thing in the universe, literally, but Tiara really is just a basic looking headpiece. Remember, Bowser's a dude who has enough cash that he can commission a solid gold train, so getting something more than an average looking tiara would be easy enough. It makes me wonder if he was trying to use Tiara's power to manipulate Peach similar to how Cappy can manipulate those who wear him, cause remember, they're all the same kind of hat ghost. And this wouldn't be the first time that Bowser had an underhanded plan to force Peach to marry him. Remember Super Paper Mario? I don't know, I'm sure that family-friendly Nintendo would never make that canon, but it does make me think, cause who knows? I won't spoil anything, but let's just say that my last theory in Odyssey turned out to be not as fictitious as I thought. Anyway though, thanks for watching everyone. I know it's already November, but if you're looking for more spectacular culture in gaming, I broke down Mei's Jiangshi skin from Overwatch over on my channel, and trust me when I say it's a lot more than just a hopping vampire. The entire social structure of the Qing dynasty is behind this thing. But I know Matt's been doing quite a bit of horror-themed theories as well, so be sure to give those a look. Also, big shoutouts to Noteblock Remix and The Living Tombstone for their fantastic Mario remixes. And until next time everyone, this is Gaijin.